Now, Josh Jacobs has had a few interesting quotes the past 48 hours. One of them goes like this, quote, "We've got a really young group of receivers. All can be really, really special, but I think personally, we need a guy that's proven to be a number one already. Somebody that we know is going to be a little bit more consistent." And he was also asked if he thinks the Packers are a player away from being a Super Bowl contender, and he replied with, "We're 3 or 4 players away from that." So, based on those two quotes, I didn't watch the interview. I just read his responses, but based on that, he definitely does not seem like a happy camper, and I can't really blame him. He was a beast for Green Bay all season long. He showed up every single week. Dude was just phenomenal his first year in Green Bay. Just absolutely phenomenal. And because of that, I feel like he has the right to make these quotes and kind of make it open to the public a little bit more. And I definitely agree with him in the wide receiver quote he had about the Packers needing a true number one wide receiver. Because let's take a look at Christian Watson. I love his game a lot. I do. And when he's out there on the field, he definitely has the ability to change a game with his speed and just his big playmaking ability. But that dude is injured all the time, and he's unreliable, and he's inconsistent. So, going forward, if I'm the Packers, you definitely don't re-sign Christian Watson because you can't rely on him. And they definitely need to add a guy that's similar to Christian Watson because, again, you can't really rely on his availability because he's always hurt. Now, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, and Wicks, all three of those guys are great. Jaden Reed had a pretty good year, but still, Josh is right. There were some games where Jaden Reed went completely invisible. Same with Romeo Doubs. I don't think Romeo and Jaden Reed and Wicks are true number one wide receivers by any means. Honestly, I think Jaden Reed is probably like a really good 3. Maybe an okay 2. But Dobbs and Wicks are definitely the 3rd or the 4th wide receiver on a depth chart. So, if they're really going to take the next step, they should add a wide receiver, a true number one wide receiver. And there has been some rumors about Davante Adams potentially coming back to Green Bay. And, geez, first of all, the fact that Davante Adams requested a trade out of Green Bay to go to the Raiders and then to go to the Jets, what a colossal career mistake that was. And even when he did link up with Aaron Rodgers again, did he really look that impressive? I feel like he aged like 5 years in the span of 2, man. Like, he doesn't look like a top 5 wide receiver anymore. I have him as maybe like a top 20 receiver. I still think he could probably be efficient with hypothetically Jordan Love and whatnot, but I don't think he's that true number one, top 5 wide receiver anymore, man. Let me know if you agree with me, but I just did not see a lot with him and Aaron Rodgers with the time that they had with the Jets. But if it's not Davante Adams, T. Higgins is potentially going to be a free agent this upcoming offseason. But the thing about T. Higgins is he's going to command a lot of money. Expect the Patriots to be heavily interested in him. I don't really see T. Higgins as a true number one wide receiver. I don't think he's a true number one in my opinion. I think he's a pretty good 2, but if he was on the Packers with all the wide receivers they currently have on the roster, I don't really think that would push the needle too much for them. If I'm the GM of the Packers, I would really take a strong look at Tyreek Hill and try to have a conversation with the Dolphins GM. Because I feel like Tyreek and Jordan Love, that could be something special. And I feel like Tyreek kind of needs a fresh start. He definitely withdrew how he felt during the final game of the season Right after the final game concluded, he was like, "I'm out, bro. Just trade me. I'm done here. It was fun in Miami." But then, like 2, 3 days later, he had a talk with the Dolphins management, and apparently he changed his tune a little bit. But I don't know if I really fully buy that. So I would definitely try to acquire Tyreek Hill this offseason. And from the Dolphins' perspective, you're trading him to an NFC team. It's not like you're trading him to the Bengals or someone in your division. You're trading them all the way to Green Bay. So I think it would work out for them. But that's a name I would definitely be interested in. Cooper Kupp is on the trade market right now, but Cooper Kupp is way past his prime, and I don't really see Cooper Kupp pushing the needle for the Packers to really propel them over the Eagles or some other elite NFC team right now. And that's the thing about Josh Jacobs' other quote about the Packers being 2 or 3 players away. I somewhat agree with that, but at the same time, like that Eagles game was pretty close, and Jordan Love did not have a good game, and Christian Watson was out that game, and it was a pretty close game. So technically, for sure, the Packers could use a couple A-plus players to help out their offense and their defense, but in my opinion, I feel like they're a lot closer to making a Super Bowl berth than he might think. But that's just me. Let me know who you think the Packers should add to their wide receiver room, and do you think the Packers are close to competing for a Super Bowl? Let me know in the comments below. Now, another decent wide receiver that may be available is Keenan Allen. He's set to be a free agent, but it's reported that he only wants to play in Chicago or in LA. So unless the Packers offer him a lot of money, I don't really think that's going to happen. But then again, man, I don't really see Keenan Allen being that guy to take the Packers over the top. Maybe in the first round of this year's draft, we'll see the Packers address the wide receiver position yet again. Not sure. All the guys that they currently have on their roster are guys that they drafted. And even Tucker Kraft was a great draft pick. So Packers have been hitting their last couple of drafts. Hopefully they'll hit again and really help them to take the next step in their championship aspirations. But we'll see, man. We'll have to see. Jordan Love definitely had a mixed year after signing that crazy contract. So definitely some question marks heading into the 2025 season for the Packers. Can Jordan Love take the next step? Can Green Bay and their wide receivers get better, get more consistent? And the Green Bay Packers have also been kind of linked to Myles Garrett, so that's another thing to definitely keep an eye on as well. I feel like that would definitely be, obviously it would be a huge move. That would definitely help out any team a lot, so we'll see if that transpires. But let me know what you think. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
When you run the football like this and you show toughness, there is no doubt when you fake it and try to throw the football down the field, the quarterback's going to have all day to get it done.
And here's the toss. He's brought down. That's going to bring up 4th down.